This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Casey Boland on demand.
Casey Boland, Hangold Capital Management. Casey, you saw an interview recently. It's an elderly guy, also a Reds fan, and you said it drove home the whole point of what can happen over time with things like inflation.
Yeah, he was 103, big Reds fan. Big Red Machine was his favorite era of the Reds back in the 1970s. And yeah, talking with somebody like that gives you a real appreciation of history, perspective, and you know what? The effect of inflation. You know, if you're in your early 1940s today, you're a little kid during the Big Red Machine back in the 1970s. You know, if you live on $40,000 in today's dollars, based on 3% inflation, you needed $13,000 back during the 1970s to have the same buying power as somebody today.
That makes a huge difference. It really does. Now, I talked to a guy once who sold cars in the 1930s, and he said that the warranty was good for 500 miles. So things do change over time. We're up to 100,000 miles plus at this stage of the game. So if you're making $40,000 today and you're going to retire, let's say, in 20 or 25 years, you can sort of calculate how much you're going to need per year to keep the same standard of living.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically going to double. So you're going to go from $40,000 to $80,000 at that time to have the same buying power, $40,000 today, and that's just for year one. That's going to continue to climb year after year in retirement, and that's why it's so challenging to accumulate enough money that can last as long as you do in retirement. And for many conversations with people, they remember their first job, they remember what they earned back then, they know what they earn today, but for whatever reason, it's a real block to people in understanding what they're going to need in the future.
And generally speaking, you would say that stocks are probably the best bet for staying ahead of inflation.
Definitely. I mean, they're time-tested over long periods of history. That's where really a good chunk of your paycheck, you need to be able to save a significant amount, and that's where it needs to be invested in stocks because long-term, stocks have done a great job of staying well ahead of inflation. And, yeah, based on the numbers, this is what you're going to need to give yourself a great shot at making sure you can accumulate enough of a nest egg to last all through your retirement years.
Got it. All right, Casey Boland, thank you very much. It's coming up on about 6 away from 9 o'clock. And Scott's Loan Time, 700 WLW.